Do you understand? And they have no incentive to fix things. They don't give a crap about the masses, about the people. We're just pawns in this game, man. It's rigged. They just want to take over. I see I myself and so many others out there with integrity and honor that want to be able to face their owner on Judgment Day, God Almighty, okay, on Judgment Day, that care about their conscience and reputation and who they are as people. They care about their soul. They won't do these. They don't want to play the game if it's rigged. They don't even care. Look, I don't even care if the game was rigged in my favor. I don't care. Okay, I like to think I'm the same guy. If I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth and I was worth billions of dollars, Daddy, I need, another 20 million, please. And here, no problem, son. Hey, you know what? I'd like to think I'd be the same person. Okay, that's it. That I would have, done what Victor Hugo said, and at least went out. If I wasn't born with adversity, I'd go out and get my share, like that song from the Rolling Stones, and went down, to the demonstration. Why did you go down to the demonstration? I didn't care about either side. I wasn't on either side of this issue, but I just went down there to get my fair share of abuse, because we know that we've got to get beat up a little bit. Adversity makes men, and prosperity makes monsters, right? Because if you're divorced from reality, you're in your own little bubble in your ivory tower, and you just don't get it. You don't understand the plight of the downtrodden, the working poor, or the working class, blue collar people out there that are literally dying. Okay, I mean, it's like that. It's like Monopoly. Okay, we're all playing this big game of Monopoly, and of course, people are out of the game one after another. Just imagine that's how it is. People, well, these dumb homeless people, they're not strong enough, they're weak, social Darwinism, let's send them off to a camp, out of sight, out of mind. That's what people think in their hearts. I mean, then they go to church on Sunday and say they're Christians and all this crap. They don't understand that to blame these people. This is the effect of what's going on here. Is like blaming a forest for burning up on a hot, windy day when you throw a flare into the forest, and it burns up, and you say it's the tree's fault. They weren't resilient enough. Stupid trees, you're weak, you're pathetic, you deserve to burn up, right? That's what to me it's like. Okay, when people want to blame the downtrodden out there, and they're blaming Jesus. Furthermore, he said, whatsoever you do or fail to do for the least of men, you do or fail to do for me. So don't call yourself a Christian and then thumb your nose at these people, especially in light of the fact who's causing the problems. Where are the problems stemming from, emanating from? What is the root cause? Where do we have to put the axe to? Where's the root? Just show me the root, and I'll put it to it. It's the Federal Reserve. G. Edward Griffin will point that out. It's these people. This is how they've been stealing from us. And all these people that have this lust, this unquenchable, insatiable lust for power and control and money and satanic precepts, knowing it or not. I mean, these people are wreaking havoc on humanity, and God's witnessing all this. We're witnessing all this, and we've got to be empowered and go out and demand justice, fairness. We want to play a fair game, not a damn rigged game. So you don't have to listen to any of my radical ideas about basic income or, any of the other ideas that I have that would fix this problem. The way is to skin a cat, okay? But the fact is that it's got to get done. We've got to confront it, or we're not going to fix it. I'd like to see things get fixed gradually. Are they going to let that happen? What's the evidence show? Look at the empirical evidence. Observe through the decades. It just got the working class. It just gets harder and harder, more burdensome to crack the nut, to reach the bar. And they're saying, I'm out, can't afford to pay my rent anymore. My landlord just raised my rent. And they won't complain. They'll just think, well, I'm weak. I should have had this job or that career. It's my own fault for being weak. And they won't ask for help. A lot of people are prideful. They'd rather put a bullet through their brain than go get welfare, food stamps, or anything else. Okay? Do you understand how much trouble we're in? And you don't say that it's a we. I mean, come on, Owen Benjamin, I know you're a comedian, and, you can make jokes about that and think it's funny, but I don't think it's funny. Okay, you're going to get your share of suffering. We're in this thing together. Okay, osmosis. Okay, God is watching your attitude, what you think about the least of men, because that is how you think about God, because that is how you think about his son. Do you understand? It's totally immoral. It's how you think about the forest burning up on a hot, windy day when some idiot throws a flare into it. What do you think's going to happen? That's what happened here. That bailout of '08 is a perfect example, throwing a flare in there. Let's just make the problem worse. Let's heal the criminals. Let's make them whole. We're not giving them a haircut. Or we'll give them a little one. We'll give them a nice little trim. But we're not going to, we're not really going to go for the jugular here. We're not going to let the true market correction happen, is what would have happened under capitalism. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to bail out these people that borrowed too much money from the banks and made a big mistake, got themselves in deep. No, we're not going to bail them out. We're going to let them lose their butts, steal their houses, and profit from their loss. It's horrible. We're in so much trouble. There's so much evil. It has overcome our nation. I don't care if you call it the best house in a bad neighborhood. We're screwing up all over the world. That's why people are all flocking here, because it is. It's like a sinking ship, and this is the highest point on that ship, and that's why they're here. But, I mean, it's unsustainable. It's untenable. It's insufferable. And this whole thing is unnerving to me. I've witnessed this for so long. I'm beside myself. It is wearying me. And I'm not going down alone. I'm not going out there, at least without voicing my opinion. That's it. You got to voice your opinion, man. At least clean your hands to that degree. And get out there and let everybody know what you think. Do it in any format you can. Get it off your chest, though. If you agree with me, do your own thing. Speak to neighbors. I like to think that I'm speaking to the world because I'm talking to everybody. I don't care who you are. But if you were my neighbor, I'd like to think I'd speak to you the same way, or my kids, any family member, anybody. I just got to get things off my chest, man. I got to tell you what I'm seeing, what other people aren't saying. And to me, it's super important that you get it, that you accept your fair share of weight of the cross, because that's what it means. When you take on being empowered with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and you decide to come out of Babylon and not to be willfully ignorant anymore, because at some point, that's what's happening here. Because you can only use I was deluded defense for so long, and God's going to hold you accountable and say, are you really, I don't buy that. It's not holding water. I don't believe you. I mean, who are you? You can't use that excuse that I was deluded in perpetuity, indefinitely. You can't do it. At some point, you've got to accept your fair share of responsibility, and you've got to step up to the plate, and you got to take a swing at this thing. And you got to be on everybody's side. You've got to understand this principle of fairness and justice and egalitarian principles of equality and just understanding that there's a basis and a justification for these things that makes a lot of sense. That's very logical and intellectual. That the earth belongs to God. You believe in creation. We're all God's children. So we all have an inherent right given by God to share in this planet's goodies. It's that simple. So one solution is just a wealth from birth. Do you understand that you have shares in your fair share in the timber and the agricultural land and the fishing and the minerals and the oil and on and on and on, right? Do you understand how that would level the playing field? And it would be God's will being done. This is the world of tomorrow that you need to look forward to. If you hope to be able to stand before your owner on Judgment Day, the day of reckoning, and to inherit a better world, okay, to be deserving and worthy of that better world, then you better clean up your act, just like I need to. I've got to feel worthy. If I'm willing that other people be free, not some others, not privileged, exclusive few others, but everybody be free, then I'm going to be worthy of it. You too. That's it. It comes down to freedom, liberty, security, through prosperity, understanding this is it, man. So, we won't need to prescribe to Victor Hugo's, philosophy of you got to get your share of adversity out there, because we'd have to get used to the new paradigm, and we would. But think how good it would feel to know that everybody in society, no matter what job they were doing, how crappy that job might appear to you, but there was a rhyme and a reason why they were doing it. And they had no ulterior motive. They did it because they wanted to do it. And wild horses couldn't drag them away. That's got to be our new paradigm in a perfect world. When you pray the Lord's Prayer, what are you saying? May God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Okay, how is it done in heaven? Paradise. It's perfect. It's ideal. So there's no compromise ever. Nobody's going to have a one-up, an advantage over anybody else in that paradigm, in that reality, in that world when it's actualized on earth. And this is what we got to get ready for. This end of the age and the beginning of a new age, that's what's coming. And you better not just, well, yeah, okay, I'll accept. No, you got to be zealous for it. You got to fight for it. Go out there, no matter who you talk to, who you touch, if it's just a family member, if it's a coworker, whoever, but talk about these loftier things and get out of this mentality that I'm just a brute beast automaton and I just go along to get along the path of least resistance. I know the grain of the system is evil, but I'm just going to keep rubbing my hand along it, knowing that eventually you're going to get snared, man, and it's going to be very unpleasant. No, man, you gotta buck the trend. If the system is evil, if the grain of the system is evil, you've got to go against it. You've got to, because this is just a ship of fools careening to destruction. And damn it, I don't